Voices echo louder than they should. Laughter pierces the air like knives. Your face burns, your heart races, your hands sweat. You're standing in front of everyone, and the mistake, big or small, has become a spectacle. It doesn't matter if it was a clumsy sentence, a misplaced outfit, or a fall along the way. The detail becomes a source of ridicule, and suddenly, every look feels like judgment. Every smile feels like mockery. You try to shrug your shoulders, hide your face, disappear, but you can't. The sound of laughter doesn't diminish. On the contrary, it grows, multiplies, echoes within you louder than any external noise. The air weighs heavily. Your chest tightens. Shame burns more than any fire. You think, I wish I could disappear. I wish I were anywhere but here. Your feet feel rooted to the spot. Your throat closes, preventing any defense. You try to move, but shame is like cement, hardening every muscle. The faces around you blur, but you still feel the weight of their gazes. Why me? Why now? And it's in that moment, when humiliation seems to swallow you whole, that something changes. A strange silence cuts through the collective laughter. You look up, confused. Among the mocking faces, one stands out. He doesn't laugh. He doesn't judge. He doesn't turn away. He simply walks toward you with firm steps, a calm presence. And when he gets close, he stands beside you. It's Paul Walker. Paul stands beside you but says nothing. The crowd continues to laugh, some whispering, others pointing. You feel your face burn, as if each glance is a flame lit against your skin. Shame tightens your chest in a way that physically hurts. You try to remember the last time you felt this way, and the memory comes rushing back, cruel. At school, when you'd get an answer wrong in front of the class and the laughter echoed. Then at work, when your idea was ridiculed in a meeting. Each episode returns as if it had merely lain dormant, waiting for its chance to crush you again. The worst part isn't the laughter itself. It's the feeling of having no value. It's believing that your entire life fits into the definition others gave you at that moment. It's feeling like the future no longer matters because it's marked by the shame of the present. Paul remains there, motionless. He doesn't look at those who laugh, doesn't respond, doesn't confront them. He simply remains. His silence contrasts with the noise of the rest. And in this contrast, something in you begins to realize. Perhaps there is another way to look at yourself. You think about the choices you've made in life and how they were so often judged. Some worked, some didn't. But whenever you failed, it seemed the world was in a hurry to remind you. Few were there to lift you up. Most were there to laugh. The lump in your throat tightens. You swallow hard, wishing the ground would open up. But Paul's presence doesn't allow you to dissolve completely. He stands there, firm, like a silent wall between you and the laughter. For a moment, you realize that if he's there, maybe it's not the end. Maybe faith can still exist amidst the shame. Maybe the value of life isn't in never falling, but in not letting other people's laughter be the last word. The crowd slowly begins to disperse, tired of the spectacle. But the echo of humiliation lingers, and Paul remains by your side, as if waiting for the right moment to speak. Paul leans in slightly, as if measuring the weight of the silence before speaking. His face is calm, but his eyes are firm. His voice is low, almost intimate, but enough to cut through the echo of laughter still hammering inside you. Do you think this defines you? You take a deep breath, still not daring to answer. He continues, a mistake, a fall, an outfit, none of that is your life. None of that steals who you are. What steals it is believing that their laughter is worth more than your story. You lower your eyes, but he doesn't let your mind escape. Look at me. Don't look at them. Look here. You're not a joke. Your presence, your choice. Your throat tightens, but something begins to move inside you. Paul speaks firmly. Do you want to know someone's true value? It's not in never making mistakes. It's in getting up, even when everyone expects you to stay down. You swallow hard. He continues. It doesn't matter if they laughed. It doesn't matter if they pointed. The future isn't in the mouths that mock. It's in the choices you make now. And every choice can change everything. Every choice is an act of courage. You try to protest, your voice trembling. But I can't erase it. Paul shakes his head. No one can erase it. But you can transform it. You can take the pain and use it as fuel. You can turn shame into strength, failure into learning. That's what we call change. He takes a step back as if offering you room to breathe. The whole world can laugh at you. But if you believe you still have value, you've already won. Because their laughter lasts seconds, your faith can last a lifetime. The words fall like hammers breaking the cement that held you in. You feel your chest open a little more. Paul concludes, money buys false respect, position, and facade. But it doesn't buy dignity. Only you can choose that. And dignity is stronger than any audience. Today, you choose. Will you live by what others think, or will you live by who you are? Silence returns. But this time, it's a different silence. It's not empty. It's full of possibility. You stand still feeling the heat of people's gazes. But you realize something has changed. The sound of laughter no longer echoes like a sentence. It still exists, etched in your memory, but it no longer carries the same weight. It's as if Paul's words have placed a filter between you and the mockery, lowering the volume, returning air to your lungs. You close your eyes for a moment and realize you're breathing better. Your heart still races, but not from fear of being ridiculed again. It pounds because for the first time in a long time, you feel the possibility of choice. When you open your eyes, the scene around you looks different. People continue walking, talking, some still laughing, but you no longer feel frozen. You realize their laughter lasts seconds, but your life is made up of years, of choices bigger than this moment. Paul doesn't say anything now. He just stands beside you, firm, as if silently saying, you get it, and you really do. The memory of other humiliations returns, but in a new light. That mistake at school, the rejected idea at work, even the fall that became a joke minutes ago. They all still hurt, but in a different way. They aren't marks of failure. They're proof that you tried, proof that you were alive. You realize there's value in this, in having lived, in having made mistakes, in having continued. What others saw as a source of laughter, you can turn into fuel. This is faith. Faith not that you'll never fall, but that you can always get back up. The future still exists, even if simple. And it doesn't have to be brilliant to make sense. It just has to be true. You think, maybe I don't need to run from shame, but learn to carry it differently. Maybe it's part of my strength. Paul places a light hand on your shoulder. This gesture is worth more than applause. It's as if it seals the transformation already taking place within you. You take a deep breath and, for the first time, raise your face without fear. Not to challenge those who laughed, but to show yourself that you're standing. And standing is already a victory. The crowd has dispersed. Some still look back, chuckling softly, but it doesn't matter anymore. The silence that remains isn't emptiness, it's opportunity. You take a deep breath, feel the cold air fill your lungs, and for the first time in a long time, you don't want to disappear. Paul remains by your side, as if he's been waiting for this very moment, when the weight of shame no longer weighs you down, but begins to lift you up. He looks into your eyes and speaks softly, almost in confidence. Their laughter has passed. What remains now is your choice. Will you let this memory bury you, or will you use it as proof that you're alive? You feel a lump in your throat, but it's not from humiliation. It's from liberation. Paul continues, the value of a life isn't in never being a target. It's in not letting it rob you of your dignity. Every time you decide to get up, you choose the future. That's how life finds meaning. You lower your eyes, but your chest opens. He places his hand on your shoulder, firm. Money can buy applause, but true respect is born within you. And when you respect yourself, even shame becomes strength. You exhale slowly, as if reborn. Paul smiles slightly, takes a step back. His gaze still holds the same serenity, but now it seems to shift the responsibility back to you. One day, someone will need your courage, he says. And on that day, remember what happened here. The world laughed, but you chose to carry on. That's the faith that changes everything. You open your mouth to respond, but he's already walking away. In the middle of the street, amid the ordinary footsteps of people who don't notice anything, He blends in and disappears. You stand still, breathing deeply, feeling the weight of shame transform into something unexpected. Energy. It's not about erasing what happened. It's about carrying it in a different way. And as he walks away from there, his words continue to echo, like a whisper that never fades. When the world laughs at you again, because it will, what will you choose? To hide or to rise again?